I've met so many people in my life through all of the experiences I went through, but there's only one Lucas Macaj. There's only one. And I need him.
A hiker has been missing for more than 48 hours after summiting Long's Peak on Sunday. Lucas Macaj was reported missing after he didn't return home from Rocky Mountain National Park.
Tonight, we've learned that the military is now helping with this search. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel spoke with his girlfriend. Just wants to see him come home.
It may look like spring on the Front Range, but the top of Long's Peak remains stuck in winter. Conditions that are stalling the search for 23-year-old Lucas Macaj, who was last heard from on Sunday.
There's only one Lucas Macaj. There's only one. And I need him.
Natalie Dodgen is Lucas's girlfriend and spent the afternoon sitting in his car, which remains parked at the trailhead he reportedly set out from early Sunday morning.
It's hard to think about, and especially with, all the thoughts that come with it, but I just want people to know who he is, no matter how this ends.
She says Lucas served in the Marine Corps and now serves with the Space Force in Colorado Springs, where he's known for combining his love for the outdoors with his love for space and Star Wars.
On May 4th, he put on his scout armor and hiked up Manitou Incline just as a scout. He's really just a big kid.
She's hoping crews find him soon, safe and sound.
He's very strong. He's very fit. And I hope that, everyone is doing everything that they can to bring him home at this point.
Outside Estes Park, Evan Krugel, 9 News.
Weather on Long's Peak is expected to be difficult again tomorrow. A spokesperson for Rocky Mountain National Park said the plan was to have searchers spend the night tomorrow night on the mountain with better weather on the way for Thursday. Long's Peak is a very popular climb given its proximity to the Front Range. And the Colorado 14ers Initiative told us that over the last 20 years or so, Long's Peak ranks #1 in the state in fatalities.
So there's a handful of factors that make Long's Peak as treacherous as it is. One is the route difficulty. It's a fairly long route if you're starting from the Long's Peak trailhead, and there's high exposure risk as well. So high potential for falling to an injury or potentially a fatal fall occurs.
Snow makes that climb even more dangerous, adds decreased visibility to the cold, and slows that climb considerably.
Clouds moved in this afternoon over the metro area. Cold front is coming. Tomorrow will be the coolest day of the week. Kathy, when we say cool, how cool?
Not cold, not snow
Okay.
cold. Yeah, 60s, Kim, but after a day with highs near 80 degrees, you'll definitely know the front is here. And in areas like Long's Peak and some of the higher terrain areas, it's possible we'll see some snow above 10,000 feet. We're tracking some scattered storms tonight, a cooler day tomorrow with showers, but a nice warm up just in time for your weekend. Temperatures this hour are still pretty mild. 61 in Denver, almost 70 in Lamar, 53 for Eagle, and 62 in Grand Junction. And the winds have still been increasing across the southern Front Range foothills and will continue to increase out of the south ahead of a front that's approaching from the north. A lot of moisture out there, so still seeing these hit and miss showers tracking west to east into Nebraska and Kansas. Brief heavy downpour, a little thunder, a little lightning and wind. Not out of the question for Denver here between now and midnight. And again, some of those foothill areas above 10,000 feet could be seeing a rain-snow mix. Severe weather threat low for the most part for eastern Colorado as these storms have moved into Nebraska and Kansas. We've seen some stronger thunderstorm development. Clouds will clear out tonight. We get sunshine to start tomorrow, but then showers return tomorrow. They could be heavy at times. I'll have the timing coming up.
Big crowds tonight at the Poudre School Board meeting asking the board not to shut down their schools.
9 News reporter Rhea Jaws live in Fort Collins. And Rhea, they are scrambling to stop this consolidation plan.
Yeah, Kyle and Kim. So the school district announced a total of 5 schools set to close. So parents, teachers, and students showed up here to the board meeting that is ongoing right now in support of their schools, hoping they won't make that final list. And while this voice is going on inside, are the adults. The ones outside were coming from people of all ages. Small protesters with big voices. At Tuesday's meeting, the Poudre School Board presented their potential plans to close 5 schools. The lists were published online Friday.
Over Mother's Day weekend, we spent our entire weekend preparing for today.
Some schools weren't previously on the chopping block.
Suddenly, our school was listed in all 4 scenarios with no warning to our staff or community.
It was a total surprise, and therefore our families and our community hasn't had a chance to prepare and advocate for our program.
Students and their parents say they can't imagine life at a different school.
We had students crying when they heard about it.
I was very devastated when I found out.
The crowd moved into the school board meeting, asking them to reconsider. The board is expected to vote on their consolidation plan on June 11th.
School communities are mobilizing at a frenetic pace to get up to speed on how we got here and what we can do.
Even the smallest voices aren't prepared for the vote to come in a matter of weeks.
This is like my home. It's the place I've always been here for since I was 5, so it's very important to me.
The district said the process is ongoing, but the list of schools that could close came from a volunteer committee of parents and staff. We are supposed to speak with the school board president here shortly, and we will keep you updated on that. Reporting live in Fort Collins, Ria Jha, 9 News.
For a second day in a row, the Auraria campus was locked down briefly due to pro-Palestinian protesters.
9 News reporter Lawrence Kafidi joins us now from the quad there. And Lauren, more than a dozen more people ticketed today.
Yep, and the tents are back on the quad tonight, but the trouble all started earlier when a few of these protesters moved some of the tents inside the Tivoli Student Union. The lockdown started just before 5 o'clock. 12 people were ticketed for trespassing, interference, and disturbing the peace. Before this started, Auraria campus said today it appears more than half of the people ticketed since the protest started are not students. Our 9 News investigative team is working to confirm that. We do have records from MSU Denver and CU Denver, which makes up about 75% of students at Auraria. Of the first 45 people who were arrested when the protesters first started, only 13 of them are students. And as we saw today, students have been cited more than once.
Well, I have already been detained before. I've gotten a different ticket a few days ago. So we kind of know the deal for what happens at these sit-ins now. So everyone who stays at the sit-ins is aware of the legal repercussions.
The lockdown was lifted just after 6 o'clock. The union is closed tonight, but it'll open up as normal tomorrow. Live in Denver, Lawrence Kafidi, 9 News.
A crash in Wheat Ridge sent 7 people to the hospital today. Police say 3 cars collided at the intersection of Kipling and West 51st Place near I-70 around 2 p.m. Kipling was shut down for nearly 2 hours. Police say 3 adults and 4 teenagers went to the hospital with significant injuries, but all are expected to make it. Police say the car with the teenagers ran a red light, and that's what caused the crash. A volunteer at a church on the Western Slope is accused of sexually assaulting at least 2 children. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office says 31-year-old Angela Klickner was a volunteer at the Landmark Baptist Church in Grand Junction in 2022 and 2023. Investigators say the victims came forward with information. She's being held on a $100,000 bond.
Police shot and killed a man today near a rec center in Thornton. Police say they tried stopping the man who was driving erratically near 112th in Colorado. He ran into the parking lot of the Margaret Carpenter Rec Center. Police say the man fired his gun first at an officer, who then returned fire, hitting and killing the suspect. No one else was hurt. So far, the man's name has not been released. Colorado Springs City Council has approved a multi-million-dollar settlement with a man who was beaten by 3 police officers after a traffic stop. Dalvin Gadsden was pulled over in October of 2022 for not having plates on his Jeep. Body camera video shows officers hitting and punching the Army veteran. His attorney says that Gadsden suffered a ruptured eardrum and eye damage. The officers were cleared of wrongdoing, but this morning the City Council okayed paying $2.1 million settlement to Gadsden.
I mean, he has a long way to recovery. I mean, he's still in counseling, so it's not all of a sudden you sprinkle some money on it and everything is fixed.
Gadsden was also initially charged with assault on a police officer and resisting arrest. Those charges were later dropped. He did plead guilty to not having license plates.
The 10th Mountain Division Living History Group says that Inglewood police have recovered its stolen trailer and some of the historic artifacts lost with it. It was taken about a month ago. The trailer stored the organization's World War II era field kitchen, along with tents and skis and other memorabilia. Some were World War II era, some were reproductions. The organization says it'll use community donations to try and replace what was lost and upgrade security.